So this was a nice delivery to get in yesterday. This was actually a recall from Westinghouse, and now Westinghouse, this is one of my favorite generators. One, because it's so darn quiet. Two, it handles about 30 amps of power, and it has a little remote start. Not that I ever use it, but it does have the push button start, so you don't have to like pull the rope or anything like that to start it up. So that's really cool. And it handles about 30 amps, which is plenty for my food truck and everything that I do. But what happened is that Westinghouse had a recall on this particular model, on the dual fuel one, and they have another one that's not dual fuel. I don't recommend you use dual fuel because I was like, maybe one day I'll use a propane as power, as you guys see here, but you never ever use it. So I think the dual fuel is not necessary. So don't get the dual fuel if you're gonna get it. They have another option that's just regular gas. But this is one of my favorite generators, and like I said, Westinghouse has just proven that their customer service is exceptional. So this, I recommend this product. A recall can happen to anything. It happens to your cars all the time for various things. Sometimes just a safety issue. But I shipped it out, and I would say maybe about 10 days later, I got it here in the house, which I was scared because we're gonna open March 20 of 2021 again for the season. And I was like, maybe I won't have a generator to start, but I do. So this is the one that I use daily. Welcome to the DIY series, How to Build Your Food Truck. I'm Frank Baltierrez. And in this video today, we're gonna be covering a lot of the small little details that are left on this new food truck trailer build that we're doing. We're taking a scratch 7x16 trailer and we're making it a complete mobile kitchen on wheels. Cooking equipment, fire suppression system, 3-compartment sink, hand sink, concession window, LED can lights, outlets, switches for the lights, you name it, we're gonna put it in this one. We got the coin gray flooring on there. I love this flooring. Like when I build my next food truck, which I'm gonna do, this is gonna be what I use. I do have aluminum, the diamond plate on mine, and I actually have to probably buff it here in the next couple days because we're gonna be opening up for the season. Being my food truck is rolling burritos, and the aluminum diamond plate looks a little bit dull. So that's gonna be maybe on one of these videos coming up, is how to buff out and make it look like new again, the diamond plate, because I had to do it to mine. So you guys will see it step by step. And can I actually get it done? I don't know if it's gonna work, but we're gonna try. But on this video, we're gonna be covering on how I connected these prep tables right there together, these together. Look at that beautiful mess. And then what else? Oh, this part right here, the ramp, we're gonna be covering that up today with stainless steel. Somebody asked me the question on what size stainless steel did I use, and I had to look it up on the receipt. It's 20 gauge stainless steel. That's what I have, is 20 gauge stainless steel. And when I first bought my first batch of stainless steel, it was super duper cheap. I think I bought 10 sheets for like 300 bucks. And then I bought it twice for this food truck. I bought another 10 sheets. This time it was 500 bucks. And then that same company, it's a local company here in the Illinois area, and I forgot what the name is called, but they sold me another for the third time, 10 more sheets. This time it was $1,000. So the trend keeps going up. And I know that stainless steel gets pricier and pricier, just like copper, because I do a lot of electrical work. So that copper, I buy a lot of wire, and that wire just keeps going up and up. And I'm assuming it's the same thing with stainless steel. But with that, that is what we're working on right now. Like I said, today we're gonna be covering this floor right there, because the last steps, the final details of the food truck build are coming into play right now. So on all the previous videos, if you're new to the channel, watch them, because we go step by step by step how to take the 7x16 trailer and convert it into this right here, because this was empty. It was just plywood and more plywood because the other one actually had carpet. The one that I had carpet, but this one was just plywood. So with that, Frank Baltierrez, let's get rocking and rolling. And any comments, leave them in the YouTube video. Any questions that you have, try to put them on the comments, to not send too many emails to my email, because a lot of caterings and everything that we have go to my email. So try not to use that as much if you can. Just knock it down here on the YouTube messages, comments, and I'll get to them as soon as possible. So Frank Baltierrez with the DIY series, how to build your food truck. Let's button up some of these details and let's get rocking and rolling. So here we are on the part where we're going to connect this plate that I use for my two 30-pound tanks, and it has like a little mechanism right here which connects. There's another piece to it right here. Here it is. It comes wrapped in this beautiful wrapping, almost like a present, and this is going to grab onto your two 30-pound tanks on either side, and it's going to connect and tighten down from that right there. And we're just going to connect it down to the trailer frame, do a pilot hole, and then connect it with the stainless steel self-tapping number, I believe they're number 12s. I'm going to link the screws here, and that's how we're going to connect this plate to fit two 30-pound propane tanks. And there are the pigtails that we connected to that right there, the propane changeover regulator made by somebody. I'll connect that too as well so you guys can see it. I think it's Fairview, but I'll connect the exact product here shortly. All right, so we load up these two 30-pound tanks. They're brand new. I bought these, as I mentioned on a previous video, at Menards, a local hardware store, because it was cheaper to buy them there than like an Amazon, but they do sell them on Amazon. I'll link it anyways. I bought these pigtails because this one's a little bit farther away than mine. You guys can see the gap right there. My tanks are right up to this, and this is because this one has an extended tongue right on the front of the trailer. The pigtails are a little bit long. I don't know if I like them, to be honest. I don't know if I'll change them. I guess, you know, I mean, it is what it is. I ordered those a long time ago because I thought they were going to be good for this purpose, but as I see now, they're a little bit long, so I don't know how I feel about them. But anyways, we'll continue. This is how you connect it. You put this piece on there, and then let's see, you just kind of twist it and it tightens both tanks down, as you see. And then as you're driving, stops them from moving around. There it is. So there are your two 30-pound tanks. As you see, they're nice and sturdy on there. And that's how you get your propane to your equipment from these two 30-pound bad boys right here. And they last me, depending on your cooking habits, I only open for about 3 hours, 4 hours at a time. They can last me about a week and a half, sometimes just a hair longer. But it's nice to know that if one runs out, you can just change it over right over there. So that's how that setup looks like for the two 30-pound tanks. So on this side right here, we have the 24-inch prep tables, and what we did is the same thing to connect them. Is we drilled a hole so it can go across from one side of the table to the other. The reason that I used this one on my food truck is actually one complete 24-inch table, which is 8 feet long. The reason I didn't do it on this one's a 6-footer, this one's an 8-footer, is because there's free shipping on these two, and that's literally the only reason. And it actually turns out to be a little bit better, because let's say whoever buys this trailer doesn't want this 2-foot on here, they want to do something else completely different, they're able to just take it off from the nuts that we put on there, and then they can have this space to put whatever they want. Maybe they want a bigger fridge, maybe they want a big steam table, whatever it is, because that one's 6 feet and that'll hold both of our cooking equipments that are needed. So that's a 6-footer, that's a 2-footer, makes it an 8-foot prep table, 24 inches wide. And in the previous videos, I talked about how I cut the legs short on here because that cooking equipment sits a little bit higher, and that way when you're cooking, it's going to be just above the waist. So there's the last parts when it comes to the prep table preparation, so you can be ready to bring in the cooking equipment and then install that and put it together. So as we see here, this is actually the lift gate that goes to the trailer. I like this type of door because, you know, if you need to bring something in, you literally just go, just walk it right up and you're inside the trailer. I do not like the barn door ones personally, just because you have to like step up into the trailer. Not that you actually ever open these. I don't open it too often, But if you do want to do maybe like a deep clean or something, then this is the way to go. But what we're gonna do first is we're gonna remove this flap right here. Ooh, look at that, 2 different colors. So we're gonna take off this little flap thing that's on here. We don't need it. And this steel piece is gonna go away. I guess you could call it the hinge. So we're gonna take that off, and then we're gonna take our measurements and our angle grinder, our metal angle grinder, and then we're going to cut the stainless steel to fit this door right here. They call it the lift door. And then that's gonna be really nice because that's gonna be part of our wall. It's gonna be shown a lot, believe it or not. This is gonna be what a lot of customers see, because they're gonna be ordering right there on that window. And then they're gonna look off this way to the left, and they're gonna be able to see that door. So we wanna make this a nice clean sheet of stainless steel. That's what I have in my trailer. You're either gonna have a barn door or you're gonna have one of these, I assume. So let's get rocking and rolling. Alrighty, so now we take out the handy dandy tape measure. We took out that flap that was right there, and now we're gonna measure this. I doubt you're gonna be able to get this in 1 sheet of paper. I'm sorry, 1 sheet of stainless steel. So we have to measure this, and measure 75 inches wide this way from left to right, 75 inches. And then the other side, we hold it right there, and then we bring it all the way over here, 76 and a half. So 75 and 76 and a half. Those sheets of stainless steel come in 48-inch wide lengths, so that's why I know that we're not going to be able to get it in 1 sheet. So we got to do 48 and then 75. 48 and 75, and then we'll do the difference after. This right here is one of your best friends when it comes to cutting metal. Like I said, the one I have right now is Ryobi. You can buy any brand that you want. You can buy Ryobi, you can buy Milwaukee, as long as it cuts metal. And then you put the metal cutoff wheel right there. So right angle cutoff wheel is what they call it. I believe that is the name, but that's one of your best friends. Here's where I keep my extras of stainless steel that I bought. I have about, maybe, how many sheets do I have here? Quite a bit. And that's what I'm going to use on the next build. And I bought them ahead of time because I got a good deal. And the reason I got a good deal is because if you see the corners here, they're not the most perfect sheets. So then they sold it as a big discount because they didn't want to have them in their stock anymore. So if you can find something like that in your vicinity, you should look for opportunities and buy as much as you can. Part of what you might have to do if you buy, like, I would say not really defective, but not as perfect quality sheets, you might have to cut the edge off. So on this one, I'm cutting 2.5 inches off the edge right here, and that way I get a nice clean edge, because right now, as you can tell, we have some jagged stuff right here. Doesn't look that good. If this one was maybe a little bit less, maybe I could have hammered it out, but it's a little bit too much for the quality that I like to do on my work. I like it to be top notch. That way it can last a long time. So that's what we're gonna do, cut 2.5 inches off this side, and that way it has a nice clean edge right there. And what you do next is you literally take your angle grinder, tie it right up, and don't be scared. Maybe the first piece you're like, how does this piece of whatever this is made out of, this metal cutoff wheel, how does this cut metal? But I don't know the science behind it, but it does. And that's what we use to cut every single piece of stainless steel. And it goes through these like no other. Like, you're gonna go through a big pack. So buy a big pack. When you buy one, I'm gonna link it in the description. Buy the biggest pack you can, because you're gonna go through them like butter. So let's get to cutting that stainless steel. It seems like we never finish cutting stainless steel, but it's better to be able to have stainless steel to cut than not have stainless steel to cut. So let's get to it. So here we go. This stuff is heavy. Like, no joke. This stainless steel is super duper heavy. I'm gonna put a transition piece right here that I'm going to link in the description. That's what makes two pieces of stainless steel connect and look really, really nice when they're together. I didn't use it on my food truck, the first one, because I didn't even know they existed until I saw it in a restaurant. And then I was like, where'd you get that from? And they didn't know, so I just Googled it and I found it, and I'm going to link it here in the description for you. But that's how we cut this piece. I went this way just so I can keep the same like lateral version of how the other food truck looks, and then that way if I have to put two pieces down here, at least it'll be down at the bottom and not up top where it's visible. But up here we got this nice sheet of stainless steel, and I'm going to keep this protective film, that way I can step on it and I don't have to clean it. So I just have to peel that off when it's time to wave it goodbye and sell it and take it to its new owner. So that's how that piece looks. Now we're just gonna screw it down with the stainless steel screws, the self tappers that we use, and that'll be the end of that. And this is how that final product looks on the lift gate, the lift door right here. What I did is, since I'm not able to put a full piece, regardless of how I look at it, I can't put a full piece of stainless steel. I used two pieces that I had there, and then I have these really, really cool, as I mentioned before, transition pieces that I found on Amazon because I saw it on another restaurant on their hood system, and I was like, that's so cool. So I bought them, and it makes a transition between stainless steel sheets a lot cleaner. But that's how that final product looks like. Any questions, please let me know. But this is 20 gauge stainless steel. I know it's super duper expensive right now in different areas, so if you find a good deal, buy as much as you can, because at the end you can resell it if you want to, or just keep it for the next project, which is what I'm doing. And there you go. And since I'm being as transparent as I can in this trailer, there's a piece right here. I probably will never ever use FRP ever again on the ceiling. I do not like it. That's just my personal opinion. I do not like it. I'll probably use stainless steel again on every single part of the trailer. There's a piece right here between this joist and this one, right, if you guys can see the screw right where my finger is right there, that is kind of dipping down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy a piece. See if you guys can see it right there. There's two parts of this FRP ceiling that do that, and it's because the FRP is not as solid as a piece of stainless steel, so it's kind of like dipping down right there. So I'm going to try to see if I can find a white piece of metal that can run from joist to joist, and that way I can brace it up. And like I said, I'm just trying to be as transparent as I can with the build with you all, to let you know the goods and the bads. It's a great product because it's really light. The only issue is it's not as hard of a material as stainless steel, so you might get a little bit of warpiness throughout the ceiling. So just know that if you're going to use FRP, I will not use it again. Just so you guys know, the future of the food truck builds, no FRP for me in the ceiling. And if you see here, I don't connect them together. I got to clean this. This is glue from that protective film. That's all that is, and it's a little bit harder to take off, so I need to like kind of warm it up with the hair dryer, and then take off the adhesive. That's what that is right there. I don't connect my ceiling with the floor, with the wall, sorry. I just kind of overlap one over the other. So that's how that setup looks. So with that, Frank Baltierrez with the DIY series, how to build your food truck. That is the small details of what we're working on, and we're waiting for the cooking equipment. It's going to ship out March 11th is what the order status says, just so you guys are up to date on what's going on with the build. And that's it.